All right, we would like to welcome you to the South Salt Lake City Council work meeting. It is Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. The time is 6:45 p.m. I am Charlotte Bynum, I'm conducting. We would like to excuse Ray DeWolf. Is Paul online with us? We hope Council Member Sanchez will be joining us. He will be on Zoom. And we have one item up for discussion tonight. We have the Mobility Plan Update 2025 amendment to the general plan. So we will go ahead and turn the time over to Carl.
Push. Now is it on? Okay. So for those of you that haven't already met me, I'm the mobility planner here at the city, which is why I'm working on the mobility plan. We have a mobility plan already, which hopefully all of you, if you don't remember going through the adoption process itself, you have at least seen it. Unfortunately, we learned when we were kind of going through this process that there was a little error in how we adopted it. So we never actually adopted it, just with the wording that was written. So that's one thing we want to correct with this. The other thing we want to correct it, well, not correct, update is when I first started, I was encouraged to take a look at this. It's a 10-year plan. We're 5 years into this plan. So are we making progress? Has public perception changed at all? Are there things we can maybe take off of the list because they're done? So I was encouraged to do that when I first got here about a year and a half ago. Started a public outreach process where we got actually a lot of feedback from residents, some of them in person, some of it at a survey that went out. And so there are some updates proposed in here, and they're not just things I wanted to do, they're things that were based on public feedback and also other department feedback too. We talked a lot internally about what should go into this. So I have a few things to present here that hopefully were sent to you in advance, but if not, they're short. We have the mobility plan itself, which I won't go into in too much detail, but hopefully you've seen it before and you're familiar with it. The idea is that it guides city decisions on transportation for 10 years. Like I said, we're 5 years into it, so it's been doing some guiding already. And then with all the public feedback we received, we put together a few edits to it. And most of the plan, ultimately, the public felt was pretty good and should stay. And most of the ideas in it, we still feel are important to us as a city. And so the plan is not really to repeal and replace what we have. It's rather just to add a couple of things. And so because of that, we're proposing adding addendums to the plan. So nothing's really going to be removed, but things will be added. So we'll have sort of a new list of projects, a new map of improvements we want to make, and obviously some new facts about demographics in the city because we're 5 years later from where we were then. I'm going to actually start with Appendix B. So we proposed two appendices. Appendix B is obviously the second one, but I want to go over it first because it's the data that we use. So it's the public outreach, it's the new demographic information we have, some new safety studies that were done by WFRC that weren't in the plan because they weren't done yet. So first, we have our safety action plan that was done by WFRC. There was a household travel survey that was done by the state of Utah. There's a lot of new data that's published nationwide by some private companies like Esri and some public agencies like the US Census. And then, as I mentioned, we did a lot of in-person outreach events. So we were at Crafttoberfest last year. We were at Celebrate South Salt Lake. We were at the National Night Out, a couple other events, talking with people face-to-face, seeing what their issues are. And then we also published an online survey, and we promoted it at these events too, but some people interact better. They get their information through email, through the city newsletter, etc. And so there's a lot of information here. We have only a few minutes to talk about it today, but if you have had a chance to look, or if you want to look in the future and send me comments about things that you saw in here, please feel free, or just speak up now if you want me to talk about something. But that's what Appendix B is. It's a collection of new information that we didn't have last time, gives us a better picture of where we are as a city. Appendix A, as you could probably guess, is some new goals, new visions for the city that weren't in there, and also some confirmation of things that were in the original plan and saying, this is something our public still feels real strongly about. Traffic calming is something that I know all of you have heard about before. It's still a high priority for the city and for our residents. One new thing is support for a more walking space or sort of an urban strip park type of thing in our downtown area. I think a lot of people are getting excited about Salt Lake City's Green Loop and want to see something similar to that in our area. And this is really important for my work, is the public feels, we got a lot of feedback that improving the amount of facilities that we have, the places people can go, is more important than having a couple really great thoroughfares that don't go everywhere necessarily. We probably most of you know that the east-west divide is hard to bridge sometimes in our city, and so that's still a priority. And obviously we have a lot of changing standards. So we have new guidance from the federal government, new guidance from organizations of engineers and planners that put out guidance for how we should design our transportation system. And that's always changing. So things we built 10 years ago are now, out of code sort of, but at the time they were. And so just making sure we're always adopting those new codes and building things appropriately. And then we had this in our old plan. The list is a little bit updated, but it's a list of projects that we'd really like to get done within the next 5 years while this plan is still active. And the last couple of pages go in a little more detail of some of the new ideas. And then last, just like in a planning document, there's the zoning map, or there's the future land use map. The transportation plan always has the future improvements map that we want to do, the new trails, new sidewalks, new safer crossings, things like that we want to add in our city. And so that's the final page of the document. So our plan from here, obviously I welcome comments, questions, suggestions, but this is just a work session, so no decisions are being made. Just want to get it in front of you, see what we're proposing. We are gonna hopefully adopt it as part of the general plan. That's common in a lot of cities, and I think what we tried to do the first time, strangely, we adopted the general plan as the mobility plan instead of the mobility plan as part of the general plan. That's the error we need to correct. But it gives it the same weight as anything else in the general plan. And it also makes it a little easier when you're referencing it in like city code or something. A developer should follow, instead of saying they should follow the mobility plan, it says they should follow the general plan, and the mobility plan is included in that. So it's a little simpler to do it as part of the general plan. So we'll go to Planning Commission for their recommendation to you, and then you'll obviously see it again, be the final adoption.
Thank you, Carl. Any questions, comments at this point? No, just appreciate your hard work. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. That was our only item for discussion. So at this time, we will adjourn our work meeting, and we will be starting our regular meeting at 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you, everyone.